TRME, while I'll go and talk a bit more about it in detail, about the science and so on, but really when you look at it, it's another chess piece that we are putting on the board, okay, or a Chinese chess piece that we're putting on the board in play, because you want to complete even more this whole integrated ability.
咁你睇，譬如好似我哋 TRME 嘅產品啦，其實就正正咧係好似喺個象棋棋盤上面擺多一個組件或者一隻棋咁樣落去，令到成件事咧係完整嘅。
Okay, so and actually it was interesting. I was talking to Mandy and some of the folks yesterday, and you already had a preview and a launch of TRME with the first 3 products, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. I don't need to explain all that, right? Right. Okay. Right. And how many of you have used TRME?
幾多人有用過 TRME 嘅？因為之前已經係做咗一個預售或者預覽咁樣啦，係咪
So I didn't realize that in Hong Kong you only brought out 3, and there are 2 more that's coming in for the full launch, right?
咁我唔知道原來香港咧最初係只係得3隻產品，咁應該嚟緊咧係有多2隻嘅，係咪？
Why the hell do you want 2 more?
點解你想要多2隻產品咧？
Oh, I see. Okay. See, you already got your reason. We brought out 3, and it's working really well, right? For all of you, we brought out this 2 to complete the whole thing. Because one of the things about weight management, and when is the nutritionist speaking? Afterwards, this morning or afternoon? Later, right? Great. Is that weight management is a long-term play.
好啦，咁點解我哋要有咁多樣嘢擺埋一齊咧？個原因就係因為體重管理咧係一個長期嘅一個工作嚟嘅。
And you guys are all excited with the first 3 products and so on, because within 40 days you're starting to see some results, which was what we were hoping.
嗱，點解你哋對於頭3隻產品咁興奮咧？因為只係頭14日就你已經見到一啲成果啦。咁當然我哋大家都希望係咁樣啦。
Because as a human, I want to see a result pretty quick, because we live in a very fast society. I can tell you all the science in the world, frankly, but at the end of the day, all of you get very impatient.
我哋個個人類咧，梗係希望好快可以見到成效嘅，因為我哋生活係一個好快速嘅社會嘛。當然我係可以講晒所有科學嘅嘢俾你知啦。咁但係我哋個個咧時不時就會變咗唔耐煩啦，冇耐性啦。
And what happens is you guys give up before the system is really working for you.
咁大家好多時咧係令到嗰個系統啊都未正式開始生效之前咧，你就放棄咗啦。
I can't be there to hold your hand all the time and slap you and say keep it going, right?
咁我唔可以成日捉住你隻手，咁然後猛咁拖住你行，然後咧你一想放棄嘅時候，我就刮你一巴，唔可以咁㗎。
Right? So I mean, that's what my mother used to do when I don't study. So we want to make sure that you have the right motivation to keep going, and now you're ready with this introduction of these next 2 products. You're ready to go on a lifetime journey that will last more than 14 days.
好啦，咁而家你哋就已經有咗個動力啦。咁如果有多2個產品嚟到嘅時候咧，你哋就已經準備好咧，就係做呢個終身嘅工作啦。佢嗰個成效咧係會維持多過14日嘅。
So this slide really shows you, there's one important thing, and that is you have to burn a lot of calories. Somehow you have to increase your metabolism.
嗱，咁呢個圖咧就話俾大家知啦，其實你哋係需要咧係燃燒好多卡路里，咁然後咧呢一個咧先至可以提升你哋嘅新陳代謝嘅。
But not like the fire outside Sharon. That kind of burning is not good. Anyway, so this is what we call the resting metabolic. Even when you're not exercising, if we're hoping that if you raise your resting metabolic rate, you can actually lose even more weight.
咁我哋希望大家咧係可以提升到你哋嘅靜態代謝率。咁就算你唔係做緊運動嘅時候咧，你同樣都可以減多啲嘅重量啦。
I can make you lose weight, no problem. But what I don't want to do is that the loss is also due to the loss of muscle.
嗱，我可以咧幫到你哋減重量、減磅啊，但係咧我就唔希望呢一個減磅咧係由於失去咗肌肉嘅。
One of the challenges, especially in Asia, among Asian people, is that the body frame is smaller than the Caucasian frame.
亞洲人其中一個面對嘅挑戰咧，就係成個身體嗰個框架嘅骨架咧係細過高加索人，即係白人啊。
And when you lose muscle, right, then you have a tendency, in a way, not to be able to support yourself well.
如果你流失咗肌肉嘅時候咧，就有機會你未必可以支撐到自己咁好啦。
And that's why, as you get older, right, if you have less muscle, the chance osteoporosis. You know what osteoporosis is?
即係如果你咧年紀大咗啦，你流失咗肌肉咧，咁你得到骨質疏鬆症嘅機會亦都會增加嘅。
It tends to affect Asian women more than Caucasian women because the Caucasian woman has a larger frame. They tend not to suffer the results of osteoporosis by easily because they have more muscle to support themselves.
咁呢一個骨質疏鬆嘅問題咧，其實係影響亞洲嘅女性多過白人女性，因為佢哋嘅身體成個身嘅框架咧係大啲嘅，咁所以咧佢哋亦都會流失，即係佢哋有多啲嘅肌肉咧係去支撐住自己啦。
And that is why, we always promote and to make sure you understand that our TRME system, when you start on this weight loss, is to preserve that muscle, if not actually increase the lean muscle. So as you get older, you have less likelihood of breaking the bones easier.
咁所以咧，我哋 TRME 嘅產品咧就係要去保存大家嘅肌肉啦。咁咧就希望咧就係當大家年紀大嘅時候咧，都唔會咁容易咧受到呢一個骨質疏鬆症嘅影響啦。
So here is a new product that we are launching, and these are the ingredients. This would be the lean S. Right? As you all know, in New Skin, we tend to focus on natural products, and these are all natural citrus fruits.
好啦，咁大家喺呢度見到嘅咧就係我哋嘅新嗰個產品裏邊咧嘅一啲唔同嘅成分，就係 Lean S 啦呢個產品。咁咧裏邊正如我哋 New Skin 所有嘅產品一直都係嘅，就裏面嘅成分咧我哋都係天然嘅。
And obviously, I mean, you can immediately ask the question, why don't you just eat all these fruits, right?
你可能會問啊，點解我哋唔就咁食咗呢啲生果咪得咯？
Yeah. And you're right, you can, but you've got to eat a lot of it.
係得嘅喎，不過要食好多。
So what we do in New Skin is to make sure that we extract the active ingredients from these kinds of citrus fruits and make it into a much smaller product that you can take easily.
咁所以我哋做嘅係咩咧？我哋就係從呢一啲嘅成分，即係呢啲唔同嘅金骨類嘅生果啊，提取咗佢嘅活性成分出嚟，然後做成細嘅產品，等你哋容易服用嘅。
And again, you can choose one citrus fruit, but from our testing, the blend of these 4 citrus type fruits together, the active, they work much better in Lean S.
咁當然你可以揀其中一種金骨類嘅水果嚟食，但係我哋嘅測試咧就發現，如果混合晒4種嘅話咧，對你哋嗰個身體嗰個效益咧係會好好多嘅。
So what did they do when we did our scientific studies? They did one really important thing, and that is to change your fat tissue into an active tissue that can burn.
嗱，咁喺我哋嗰個科學研究裏面做咗啲咩啊？我哋就係希望咧係將一啲嘅脂肪組織啊，將佢變成一啲嘅活躍嘅組織咧係可以燃燒嘅。
By the time you finish this morning, all of you can graduate and go to CTU and get a Bachelor of Science degree.
你今日上完我呢一課之後咧，你大家就今日咧可以去城市大學嗰度就攞到一個科學學士學位嘅可以。
So much science, I tried to explain this to my wife. She immediately fell asleep.
我嘗試過同我太太去解釋呢啲嘢，但係佢即時瞓着咗覺啊。
Sometimes wives are very strange people.
有時老婆係有啲好奇怪嘅人嘅。
You guys, I'm digressing a little. I all you people, because when I come and talk to you the 6S process, you actually listen. Benny actually listened, right? And every leader, when we're talking about 6S, you always listen. And when I talk about 6S process, one time when we started Pharmanex, oh my goodness, before New Skin, so we were all very excited, being one of the founders of Pharmanex. So we're always thinking about what is so good, and we had the 6S process. So at night when we go home, right, before I go to bed, I try to explain 6S to my wife. In bed. Right? Right? And I explain, so excited. I say, this is what we do in Pharmanex. It's so exciting. I mean, 6S, nobody has done it before, and blah, blah, blah.
咁啊，當我每一次咧去分享呢個6S 嘅過程嘅時候咧，所有你哋啲領導人啊，個個都係好留心聽㗎嘛。咁啊，我喺 Pharmanex 嗰陣時咧，仍然係非常之興奮，就係關於呢個6S。有一晚翻到屋企上床之前瞓覺之前，
晚啊，唔係真。Right? So it's very exciting to me. I'm a scientist. It's exciting. 5 minutes, I look over. She was snoring.
佢直情扯晒地盤啊！聽到。
It's like, why? It's very exciting stuff, right? So I thought this is the most exciting pillow talk.
其實我覺得呢一種咁樣嘅談話咧，應該係最令人興奮嘅枕邊話嚟㗎啦，係咪？
I learned my lesson very quickly. So the next morning I go, no exciting to you? No, it is exciting to you as long as you think it's good, it's fine, It's, I have to worry about your sons and see whether they can actually get a job. So all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so that's really science can be somewhat complicated and a little bit, especially if you're not trained in science. But fundamentally, this white tissue, this is what we are focusing on, this white fat tissue, is to make sure to make it into a tissue that we call beige fat tissue.
其實最主要嗰個重點啦，就係我哋要將呢個白色脂肪咧，將佢變成米色脂肪。
And when we are able to do this transformation, then the fat tissue will burn quicker.
做到呢個轉化嘅話咧，嗰啲脂肪組織就會燃燒得快啲啦。
And then because all the fat inside the fat cell, right, in the white tissue, for example, is fat. That's why you want to burn the ingredients or the fat, the triglycerides we call it, inside the fat that we have to burn.
嗱喺白色脂肪裏邊咧，其實入邊嗰啲細胞咧就係全部都係脂肪啊，所以我哋都要燃燒咗佢先得㗎。
You know this biochemical reaction we call it, right? Somebody actually got a PhD just studying this stupid thing.
你知唔知嗱？呢個咧係生物化學嘅一啲理論啦。咁有啲人咧直情啊就係研究呢一嚿嘢就已經可以攞到個博士學位啦。
影響都 not very good. It's this thing here. It took a guy to work this out more than 10 years to figure that one out.
嗰個人啊用咗10年，多過10年嘅時間先可以搞得掂呢一嚿嘢啊。
So 但係你咁想啊，你睇落去 you better get a PhD for that, okay? Because really what happens is at the end of the day, the understanding is why is it can convert that white to beige fat tissue is because it inhibits or it stops that enzyme called lipase.
好啦，點解可以咧？就係將呢個白脂肪變成米色脂肪嘅話咧，就係因為佢係停止咗嗰個叫做咧就係脂肪酶呢一種酵素啊。
And when you stop that enzyme called lipase from working inside the stomach or in the intestine, then the fat is not being absorbed.
嗱，當你停止咗呢一個脂肪酶喺個腸道嘅活動嘅話咧，咁脂肪咧就唔會被吸收啦。
And then you will start burning the fat, and then during that conversion.
喺轉化過程中就開始燃燒脂肪啦。
Okay, what does it all mean? Scientists love to study all these fancy reactions, at that sort of molecular level, but it has to translate to something meaningful, right? And this is what happens.
嗱，科學家就好中意研究呢啲咁嘅好花巧嘅唔同嘅反應啊，或者係運作啦咁樣。但係究竟佢意味住乜嘢咧？即係我哋除咗係研究喺分子層面嘅之外，究竟確實喺我哋嘅身體會有啲咩情況咧
So that is easy to understand. That orange thing that goes down just shows you're losing a lot of fat.
嗱，呢個圖咧應該好易理解嘅。下面深啲橙色嘅嗰個部分咧，就係代表你哋係流失或者失去緊好多脂肪啦。
And on this side, right, when we measure the muscle, the hatch, the one at the top, and create or calculate the ratio, we can see the muscle is not being lost, only the fat.
嗱，咁睇翻上面橙色一格格斜格嘅嗰格咧，其實就係量度緊我哋嗰個肌肉。換言之，即係話咧，當我哋流失脂肪嘅時候咧，我哋係冇去流失，我哋冇同時流失肌肉喎。
So we have achieved our objective of making sure preserve your lean muscle, but only lose your fat.
好啦，即係話我哋達成目標啦，我哋能夠保存到我哋精瘦嘅肌肉，只係流失脂肪啫。
So on the average, when you look at it, you know, this is a study over a period of 8 weeks maybe, something like that. So you can see you can lose up to 5.4 kilograms. So in my mind, it's roughly times 2.2 is about over 10 pounds.
嗱，咁喺呢一個研究裏面，大概做係8星期嘅時間啦。佢已經能夠咧就係減去咗咧係5.4公斤，大約即係多過10磅啦。
So very significant. The longer you use it, remember, the 14 days is great. You see your weight loss, right? But if you truly want to transform that to a more permanent weight loss, you got to keep on using it longer than that.
好啦，嗱，你用咗14日啦，咁效果好好啦，你見得到咧係真係減到磅嘅。咁但係如果你真係能夠希望可以做到呢一個轉化嘅話咧，咁你一定要長期去使用，等佢可以有一個永久性嘅效果啦。
So this is just measuring the waist and the hip and see whether there's a reduction. And I think without good any explanation, you can see there's a very significant reduction in those two parameters.
呢個圖咧就係量度我哋嘅腰圍同埋臀圍咧，究竟減少咗幾多？咁唔使多解釋啦，咁喺個圖已經見到咧，其實減少咗好多嘅。
So this is 4 weeks, and what is important? There is a phenomenon in weight loss when you use a system, and they call it yo-yo. 嗱，呢一個咧就係4個星期之後嘅情況。咁喺我哋係減肥或者減重嘅過程裏邊咧，有一個現象叫做搖搖效應啊。 So we want to measure that too to make sure that it doesn't yo-yo you in that sense using the TRME system. And I think you can see once again at the end, in other words, the end of supplementation, that dotted vertical line shows the supplementation is stopped. Right?
嗱呢度咧，我哋想睇下就話成個用後嗰個效果咧，就係我哋量度要確保咧，就係唔會有呢個搖搖效應。所以如果你睇翻黑色嗰條虛線咧，就係顯示你停止服用呢一個補充劑嘅時候嘅情況啦。
So you can see there's no yo-yo, it stays, the reduction stays low.
咁呢一個減重效果咧係持續嘅喎，冇搖搖效應嘅。
All right. Here's one thing, when we think about weight loss, we always think, all right, it's about the fat. All you have to do is focus on the fat. There's another organ in your body that is actually equally important, if not more important, than the fat itself, and that's your brain.
咁其實我哋每逢諗體重管理或者減肥，我哋一味咧就淨係專注睇脂肪，但係其實喺我哋嘅身體裏邊有一個另外一個器官係更加重要啊，就係我哋嘅大腦啦。
And one of the things, the reason why the brain is so important is because when you are stressed, and that affects the brain, and immediately your brain sends a signal to the stomach or whatever, and say you got to eat.
嗱，每當我哋係即係感覺到有壓力或者受到壓力嘅時候咧，呢樣嘢咧就會影響我哋嘅大腦，大腦就會發出一個信號去我哋嘅胃部噶咯喎。
And once again, the science is really interesting because it's due to this substance that's being released in the brain that is called serotonin.
咁喺我哋嘅腦部咧，其實釋放咗呢一個叫血清素嘅物質嘅。
fact, the serotonin discovery also is very important because the guy who discovered it, he won the Nobel Prize for it.
嗱，其實呢個血清素嘅發現好重要啊，因為發現到血清素嘅呢個人咧贏咗諾貝爾獎啊。
So, and this more serotonin you release in the brain, because you are stressed, the more it will make you want to eat more.
如果喺腦部嗰度因為壓力釋放得越多呢個血清素嘅話咧，就會令你越想食嘢。
And that's not all. Even your GI system, your gastrointestinal system, will also release serotonin, but that will travel to the brain and add to that sort of desire to eat more.
唔單止咁喎，連你嗰個胃腸嘅系統啊，都會發放呢一個血清素咧去你嘅腦部，咁而當然從而又再繼續影響你咧係想要食更多嘢啦。
So you get into this, that we call it a vicious cycle, right? More stress, more serotonin, make you eat more, you get more stress, and it just continues.
好啦，咁啊形成一個惡性循環啦，就係壓力咧就產生咗呢個血清素啦，就令到你想食更多嘅嘢，越食得多咧，咁你就越感覺到有壓力，於是不斷咁樣咧循環不息。
So clearly you can see there's a product we must have that can help to control the brain.
所以大家知道我哋一定要有一個產品咧係可以控制我哋嘅腦部嘅。
This is the snack win.
呢個咧就係嗰個 snack win 嗰個產品啦。
Yeah. So sometimes if you accidentally see Hong Kong, our Hong Kong staff sent you something that's called snake win.
有時可能你哋咧即係意外地會見到一個叫 snake win 嘅。
It's snack win. Yeah.
其實個正確嘅名都係 snack
They
win
just
嘅。
forgot to check the spell check.
即係串錯字咁解嘅啫。
The word program or whatever. Anyway, the major ingredient is this in the middle. That's called a saffron.
最主要嘅成分咧就係中間呢一個啦，就係叫做番紅花水取物。
I will give you one box of life pack or whatever, or maybe even give you one box of candy. If you can tell me how many flowers that get all these stamens.
嗱，如果俾一盒你啊嚇，你可以睇下入邊究竟咧係有幾多朵花先至可以有咁多呢啲嘅成分喺度。
Because each of these, you can't see it very clearly, it's actually in English, it's called a stamen. It comes from the middle of the flower.
因為每一條嗰啲咧係喺個花中間嗰度攞出嚟嘅。
So you literally have to pick every one of it. There's no machine that can actually remove that stamen.
咁你要用人手逐條咁樣揀出嚟，因為冇機器可以去做到呢樣嘢㗎。
Tens and thousands of flowers to be able to produce that bowl of saffron.
數以萬計嘅花先至可以足夠咧產生一碗咁樣份量啊嚇！呢個萃取物
That's why it's more expensive than gold.
比金仲貴啊，所以。
However, right, we can easily take the saffron, this saffron stamen, and just make a product out of it. But once again, that's why we do and use 6S. And that is, we want to make sure that it has the active ingredients. And these are some of the active ingredients in our saffron extract.
咁當然啦，我哋要用到呢個萃取物嚟做一個產品咧係好容易嘅。咁但係我哋要記住，我哋嘅6S 就係要確保咧，我哋可以攞到所有活性嘅成分咧嚟到做出呢一個番紅花呢一個產品。
Now, this morning I won't show you anything, but in the evening I might emphasize this point a bit more. And that is, why is our products priced? Sometimes we get the criticism they're quite expensive.
可能點解我哋嘅產品咧有時被批評為都幾貴喎
Right? So, and the reason is because we just don't use the raw material to make our product. We want to be able to standardize based on active ingredients.
因為咧，我哋係唔會用一啲唔對嘅錯嘅物料或者係成分嚟到做我哋嘅產品嘅，我哋一定要咧係確保我哋有標準化嘅活性成分。
Yeah. I can make a cheap product for you, no problem.
我做一個平嘅產品有幾難啫，冇問題嘅。
Right? No problem, I can do that. But I know it won't work for you.
但我知道一定唔會行得通噶嘛，唔會有效噶嘛。
Right? So that's why it's sort of like in Cantonese, you have that phrase, 一分錢一分貨 right? We have to price it there. It's because that's why, because of the active ingredients.
咁所以個定價就係要咁啦，就係因為呢個活性成分嘅原因。
So again, the scientific studies show, we tested our product, and again, it seems to be able to control your brain. In other words, it controls this appetite.
咁好啦，我哋做科學研究啦，亦都做過測試，就知道呢個產品咧係真係可以控制到你哋嘅腦部，亦都真係可以控制胃口啦。
And you can see over the period, the snacking, your ability to eat, or snack, maybe nibble every time you eat, whatever, you can stop that snacking habit.
咁亦都可以阻止大家咧不停食零食呢個習慣啊。
And so it's really important. So that's the second product. That's the snack wing. Not snake wing.
呢個就係我哋第二個產品係 snack wing 啊，記住唔係 snake wing 啊。唔好信 Mandy 嘅。
That's what she tells you. Or Sabrina.
或者 Sabrina 都唔好信啊，講乜都唔好信。
Fundamentally, the TRME system is because we help you to burn your fat, right? With all these citrus fruits and everything else we have combined to make this lean-ass product, and then we combine it with something that can control your appetite.
好啦，咁我哋咧係集合晒好多嘅柑橘類嘅水果，咁咧做咗 lean 咧就可以咧幫大家燃燒脂肪。